貸してくれ。明日俺らはバルハラぶっ潰して、それが俺らの決戦だ。
Ken Wakui's manga adaptation of the name Tokyo Revengers is one of, if not the most popular new anime so far in the year 2021, as the manga sales skyrocketed after the anime started airing to the level of surpassing the likes of Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan. The story of the time traveler Hanagaki Takemichi and the life of Tokyo gang wars and high school delinquent life is so immersive because of its great plot that keeps constant tension and entertaining at all times. For a manga that is known for having so many plot twists and crazy events that would only escalate to crazier stuff. Other than time traveling, Tokyo Revengers is not that far from reality, as the depiction of the biker gangs and their behavior is not that different from real life history and the real biker gangs of Japan.
50人いても100人いても1人だって行くんだよなあ、聡明の看板背負ってんだよ今まで先輩からついてきた看板背負ってんだからなあ、1人だって突っ込むんだ気合い入れんだよ。よろしくお願いします。平気なやつは待ってんだから。
Bozzoku is a Japanese subculture associated with customized motorcycles. The first appearance of these types of biker gangs was in the 1950s. Popularity climbed throughout the 80s and the 90s, and their numbers dropped dramatically in the 2000s. Bozzoku first started as groups of returning World War II veterans. Many veterans were having a hard time readjusting to society after the panic of the war, and the most extreme turned to alternative methods to fuel their excitement. Many turned to custom car making and gang-like activities on city streets to gain an adrenaline fix. They gained many inspirations from American greaser culture and imported Western films. This would explain the many similarities between old American biker culture and the Bozzoku characteristics. Many younger individuals began to see this style of life as very appealing, especially marginalized individuals looking for change. Eventually, these youngsters took over the identity and became the foundation for the modern Bozzoku. They go around the city in groups fighting other gangs and being chased by the police. As they grow older, they either join the Yakuza or retire, returning to normal life. This huge influence and inspiration from such era is because of the author's origin, as he himself was a member from a biker gang group, and as he said once, his editor told him that he would like to read a story about Yankee people, but Ken did not know how they are nowadays. That's why he came up with the time travel plot element, in order to write the story in the setting of the mid-2000s when he was still one. He once said that he was expelled from school and that he worked as a host at a women's bar, which sounds a lot like where Draken lives. Draken's full name is actually Ryukuji Ken, which is the author's first name, Ken. So Draken is likely his self-insert. That's why he made him so freaking cool and badass. The other similarity he shares with the cast of Tokyo Revengers is with Mikey, and he once said that the importance of the gang back in the day was their camaraderie, brotherhood and friendship. And when they go to fight, it was with other gangs like them, not with citizens, with whom they remained respectful and polite. This sounds a lot like Mikey's ideals. He never said the name of the gang he was from, but a Reddit post claimed he was a member from the famous Black Emperor's gang, and that he is the one in the middle. But there is no proof to this information, though Black Emperors is a huge inspiration for the manga, particularly the main gang that the protagonists of the story are from, Tokyo Manji Gang, also called Toman. For short, share a lot of similarities with Black Emperors. The black boiler suits, uniforms and the symbol of Manji in the middle of their flag. Black Emperors were a huge deal back in the day. They were one of the strongest groups against the Vietnam War. And not only that, it became one of the first student groups to mobilize. Even the Japanese government treated this gang with some respect. Just like Toman, they were promising and on the verge of creating a new era. But internal conflict and ideological differences led to its fall. Reportedly, one of the members caused problems and was pulling the strings from behind everyone, just like Sakitetta is doing in Toma. Japan of the mid-70s was a country coming to terms with the internal violence of the previous decades. The 60s saw multiple issues affecting Japanese society: political scandals, public demonstrations against government policy, and the Vietnam War. Add to this a continually growing nationalist movement, internal fighting between political parties, students and various pressure groups, which led to violent incidents and multiple deaths. One cause of the violence was the US-Japan Security Treaty, which was initially signed in 1951, but despite attempts to stop the ratification, it was revised and resigned in 1960. Throughout the 60s, there were multiple demonstrations against the treaty. These included the organized student and political groups. But for the first time, ordinary citizens had mobilized to vent their anger at what they saw as a threat to peace and the possibility of being involved in a regional war with the US. This, as far as activists were concerned, was a flagrant disregard of democratic ideology and so much more political tension and problems. And this gave rise to groups such as the biker gangs. What leads teenagers to join these gangs is a sense of escapism from the system that was starting to take roots. After the events of war, Japan was in the process of rebuilding itself. But with the huge influence the world had on it, a lot of citizens were feeling lost and controlled. And what is better than riding a loud, cool motorcycle and beating the shit out of other people to relieve yourself from that? People tend to wonder, where are the parents in Tokyo Revengers? Can they take care of their kids? Well, that's the whole point. If they existed or cared, then there might not be anything like this. And the show makes a very clear demonstration of that. Mikey and his siblings are orphans, and it was Shinichiro's job to take care of them as the older brother. Another parallel to this are the Shiba siblings, who are also orphans, but the older brother Taiju is an abusive, violent psychopath. Mitsuya has to take care of his two younger sisters, because their mom is always unavailable. Kazutora suffered as a witness of domestic violence, and his longing for a normal family was the foundation of his sociopathic behavior. Senju and her brothers and their conflict. Izana, who was abandoned by his unknown mother, and his father who didn't care about him and died somewhere. Draken lives in a literal brothel because he doesn't even know his parents. That's the whole deal with Toman in the first place, as it's Mikey's way to create a family for all these kids, where they feel they belong and that someone cares about them. Have fun, hang out, and feel powerful. That's the whole message and the core theme of the story. If some of us, the viewers, were blessed enough to have grown up in a proper environment with loving parents, we shouldn't just assume everyone else does, but understand and feel empathetic towards them. I'm sure that someone like that might be watching this video right now, and if you are, I hope you are doing well and happy. The fact that we never saw Takemichi's parents once, and they were never even mentioned, as weird as him being the protagonist of the story, might be the author's way of saying, why does it matter? He can still be great and have meaningful connections with others, instead of the dependency which we naturally expect from these type of stories. This might be his way of empowering orphans, or might be a reflection of his own life, as he clearly did in other aspects. And the age thing, as we might be shocked of how a couple of 16-year-olds and older are doing this. Bosozoku members are mostly underage, averaging around 17 years old, and very few of them are above the age of 20, while younger ones can be around 12 years old and even younger. Bosozoku culture and mentality is not exclusive to only Japan, but is seen in places all over the world in different ways. England's Mat, Saudi Arabia's Tafhid, Singapore's Abeng, and so much more. If you reached this far in the video, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more anime and manga content just like this. Have a blessed rest of the day, drink a lot of water, and as always, many thanks for watching.